Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. I'm Mrs. Gidcombe and I'm the reading specialist, and I'm just going to be talking to you a little bit about what you can say if your child is having trouble figuring out a word and sound it out just isn't cutting it, because we all know we can say sound it out, and if they can't sound it out, they're still not going to be able to figure it out. So I broke it down into a couple of categories. So we're going to start with just basic solving words. So let's say your child gets to a word and they're just staring at it, or they're staring at you. So if they are staring at you, I would say, look at the word. Don't look at me. The word's not on my face. And I might, if I just want them to say the first sound of the letter, I might just say, it starts like this. Can you say the sound with me? And just get them in the habit of starting the first sound of the word. But let's say they're beyond that and they've already started the first sound and you still don't know what to say. You want them to start looking at parts, chunks, syllables, word families, parts of a word to figure out the whole word. This is especially helpful if it's a 2 or 3 syllable word, or if it's a word that you know they know a rhyming word that goes with it. So you can actually use your finger and cover up parts of a word. So I'm just going to use this behind me. So if, let's say, you know they know the word going, or they know the word go, you would cover up the end of the word and say, oh, what's that word? Go. Now add ing. Going. So you could say, cover the first part, and you could actually model it for them. Cover the last part. Look for a part you know. Okay, that's something you can say. And then the next thing, if you want them to monitor their reading or self-correct, self-monitoring is like they're thinking about, does it look right? Does it make sense? Does it sound right? So you could literally just say, where's the tricky part? Let's check it. You knew something wasn't quite right and you stopped. Or if they just keep on reading, you could say, that didn't make any sense. You need to stop when it doesn't make any sense. And if they're like, yeah, it makes sense. No, you could read it back to them and model. Like, well, you just said that, I don't know, just say, whatever they said that totally didn't make sense. So hopefully they would then internalize, oh, that didn't make sense. I need to stop. Okay, and then for self-correcting, when they do stop, often students don't know what to do. So you could say, wow, you noticed what was wrong, or you noticed that didn't sound right. You fixed that. Something wasn't quite right. See if you can fix it. What else can you try? So these are just basic prompts that you would say to a student who's just stopped. And then for general problem solving, if your child is encountering some tricky words, you could say, try it another way, and you would model for them. Oh, let's try this. And sometimes you can even do what's called a think aloud and just say what you're thinking and how you're figuring out that it's not quite right. You could say, think about what you know that might help. So for example, if they're just staring at a word, say, what do you know about that word? Well, it starts with a C, or, oh, it ends with ED, okay? And then if they're really just having trouble, just acknowledge them. Wow, you worked really hard on that. Great job, great try. Okay, we want them to start feeling successful. And then there's other students who might just be super disfluent, meaning they're reading really choppy, or they're sounding out every single word that they read. So you might say, listen to how I read this, and you might model how to read it at an appropriate speed, not too fast, not too slow. Move your eyes forward so you can read more words together. Okay? You read it faster that time. Now, remember, though, you don't want them to just be speed readers. So the goal is not to have them just like reading, and not pausing at any commas or periods and not thinking about what they're reading. So if you do want to work on pausing, you could say, listen to me read this. Can you hear me take a little breath at the comma? You made a full stop when you saw the period. You made your voice go up at the end when you saw a question mark. Okay, so those are some things you can say. And then the last part is just more fluency. We want them to read like they're talking, so with like lots of feeling. So use emphasis when you see the exclamation point. Make your voice show excitement when you get to an exciting part. listen to me read this. Can you see how I'm talking like the characters are talking? So again, those are just a ton of different prompts that I might say that I kind of jotted down that could be helpful for you when you're kind of like, oh my gosh, I cannot say sound it out one more time. So I hope you found that helpful, and above all else, if your child is really struggling with a book, one way is just to read it at the same time as them. So, oh, let's read this together at the same time, and like choral reading. Or you could read a page and they could read a page, or you could read and then they could repeat you. So those are just some other ideas. All right, have a great day.